But it's now time for our conversation on health and related matters. And it's always a pleasure to have joining us Dr. Gaisie, who does many things, right, within the space. I'll share with you pretty shortly. Today, she's going to help us on a conversation on issues around masculinity, how to, the not necessarily the safeguards, but the challenges, how to also overcome the stereotypes, a very, very big part of it, because sometimes, people go through certain ordeal and they are forced to not show emotion, they are forced to not show expression, and they inhibit all that they go through, the emotions, and it becomes a much more complicated situation. So Dr. Gaisie, who is trained in that space, is going to help us, sort out the issues and give us the best possible way to address all of these concerns. Dr. Gaisie, good morning and welcome to Sunday Breakfast.
Good morning, Jude. It's always an honor to be here, and happy Sunday to
Happy
you.
Sunday to you as well.
Yeah, we are blessed today.
Absolutely, except that for some people, rather, it's been a depressing week. So early on this week, we had a story around spousal abuse that really got the whole country talking. A landlord who, stripped naked his tenant, his wife, and, hurt her in very, very abusive ways. And it took a tenant to video this for it to go viral. This morning, I've been reading around how, in the news again, how an auntie of a 9-year-old girl a sister of a 9-year-old girl has been abusing the niece, in very horrific ways. Also in the news yesterday, we saw a story of how a man murdered the 9-year, I think the daughter. The age wasn't quite given, right? And of course, we know all that is happening, for example, in South Africa too, where protests have broken out as a result of femicide cases that's on the rise, gender-based violence, domestic violence. So it's been a very difficult week, and I'm sure you've been following the issues as well. I don't know what your brief thoughts are on this.
Yes, I have actually, and it's really sad. We are in modern times, and I think for me, these are not good times or good news, but the good news about it is the fact that people are able to verbalize it. We have the social media and all that, so we're able to, because once upon a time, these things were hidden and people won't talk about it. People didn't understand it. I always say that social media is very powerful depending on how you use it. And these are creating awareness, and there are discussions going on, and people are expressing their disgust about some of these things or most of these things, that why should this happen to a child? Why should this happen to a woman? Why should this happen to a man? So we are living in a society where society influences us so much. And sometimes some of these movies or things we watch, things we hear also influence people, especially our young ones. Maybe they don't have any a role model or a way that life should be apart from what society is teaching them. And it's interesting that, this month is male awareness or mental health awareness for men, or generally well-being for men. And it's important for us to kind of highlight some of these things about the fact that, where does it all start? How did it get to that? Or why is it getting to this? And what can we do, or what can we put right? What is society missing? Or what is it, our leaders? Is it parenting? Is it our neighbor? Is it our community? So it is really, really sad. But also it's important that we keep having these conversations, because I'm sure there's somebody watching now that some of the things we'll discuss today, they were not even aware. There's no awareness. They're not even aware that what is happening to them or what they are witnessing or experiencing is actually abuse or something that is molding their lives. So I'll give you an example. Just recently, I've had a new client, or somebody has referred someone, and it's sad that what we say, man up, who is a real man, and that. And this person was at the age of about 7, 8, their father died. And when the father died, it was as if this person had to step up and be the family, because they had younger siblings. So mother started treating them like the man of the house, where they had to babysit, do everything. And I'm not going to go into details about it, but eventually what happened at the age of about 9, 10, I'm sorry, everyone, it's like to say this out bluntly, but the mother herself started sleeping with the son, the mother, the
Wow.
biological mother. Yes, because it's like you're the man now, so you have to do what your dad was supposed to do. And so she was punishing this boy, stating that, you know, um, if your father is gone, then he's left you with his responsibilities. So imagine this person growing up and what they would think. One of them would be the hatred for for his mother. And that hatred went to the extent that every relationship he exhibited that,
Mm.
bullying and abusing women of a certain age and thinking that all women were like that, all women were horrible. And it doesn't stop there. There's so many people in similar situations. I know one that, if it was like he became the stepmother, and the boy became like the husband to the stepmother because the father was always out at work. So if the background is like this, what kind of society are we bringing into? And
Interesting.
sometimes we work so hard as well.
Mm.
We work so hard and we leave these young ones. And we keep saying in our society that a man is not supposed to cry.
Mm.
Man is supposed to man up. What does man up mean? That means that everything we do, a boy does or a man does, they're supposed to keep it within them. So how are people supposed to express themselves? Hence, we're having all of this, because I'm not saying women don't do it, but the
Interesting.
majority the
Yes.
majority, and I'm highlighting men because of the speciality of this month, that
Mm.
why are men not seeking help? What is actually going on? Why these murders? Why these stabbings? Why these abuse? Because we expect them to function in a certain way. And when people don't feel equipped and ready to function the way society expects them, they exhibit it in different ways, hence the abuse. I'm not making excuses, but society, we need to look at societal things that we can equip a person.
Interesting. I like how you know, even though it was a gender-based question, you beautifully segued from, gender-based violence to the conversation we are having today on harmful masculine stereotypes. So I'll just want you to just continue on that tangent, share with us some of what you consider to be these masculine stereotypes that are harmful and often not spoken about. If you could just briefly run us through some of these things, how to identify them, and maybe even the societal causes of some of these.
Yeah. I think right from, a boy is born, or right from when, someone is quite little, being the boy child, there are certain expectations already. Expectations, even if it's not from the immediate family, when they go to school, when they go out to play, when they in their career, it's like a boy, you're supposed to play with a football. Sometimes, I remember years ago, because I have a daughter, she's older now, but when you go shopping for toys, I look at the toys and I'm just thinking, why are boys' toys so scary? What does it? And it's about that machoistic macho. It's got to be a certain way. It's got to portray certain things. Can it not be sweet? Because little boys are sweet. Why is it? Why do you see all these girly toys with pink and this and that? But the boys' toys look like horror, as if it's Halloween, as if it's a time of the year that is doom and gloom, like
Yeah.
you in a cemetery, or even cemetery is peaceful. But we put some of these things into the boys, that you have to be a certain way. And sometimes it's the unconscious thing. It's not like people deliberately do it, but it's the society's explanation. Oh, okay, so your grandmother died, so why are you crying? You're a boy, you're not supposed to cry, or you're not supposed to show your emotions. Why? Oh, so this girl dumped you, so you're upset. You're supposed to be a boy. You're supposed to date more than one girl. You're supposed to tell her your peace of mind or slap her. So all these things are instilled. And like I said, maybe not even from the home, but especially in Ghana, as soon as you hit high school, you actually, majority of us go into boarding. So at that point, is the authorities, is the people, the peers you are with, that mold you.
Mm.
You only go for holidays, maybe 1, 2 weeks, 3 weeks max, and then you're back in school again. So you're being molded by the environment where you're in. And people are coming, I always say that there's so many things that I learned from high school that I didn't learn from home. And I'll say that there were some really, really horrible or bad things that I didn't even know, I'd never been exposed to, because it wasn't something that was discussed in my family home. But in the boarding institution, these things are talked about, especially our private parts and all of that. These things are detailed, and I didn't even know about abortion and all that. I heard all of that, and I was very young. So a boy is molded in such a way that they feel that I'm responsible, I'm supposed to, or I have to man up to, in quotes, I have to be a real man. Who is a real man? A man who doesn't show his emotions, a man who doesn't say that actually I can't find a job. Actually, I'm not in my dream job at the moment. I'm not in my dream career. I'm struggling financially. To the extent that some men will not even discuss it with their spouses that actually, do you know what? I've lost my job, or I'm not getting enough income. They feel that I'm the man. I'm supposed to provide. So you keep your money and then I'm supposed to provide. Meanwhile, they're struggling. Instead of saying to the wife, actually, you've got a career, or you've got a certificate, or you can trade, or go out and let's do it 50-50, or let's work together. But they feel that they are responsible for everything. It's great to have a man who does everything. I'm not disputing that. I'm not saying that the man is not the head of the family. This is not what this conversation is about. But it's about how much are our male our male gender taking on? How much are our men, our boys taking on? Why is it that a man cannot say that actually I suffer from depression? Actually, I'm stressed, I'm burnout. Why can't a man go to a lady boss and say to the woman, because it's a woman, their boss, that actually this is too much for me. Maybe I need more training to be able to provide. So all these expectations make it difficult for men to express. You're in a marriage, maybe it's not going well. I'm not sitting here saying, oh, it's only men who are trouble. Maybe the spouse is also somebody who is a big spender, or a trophy wife, or whatever, who is taking money all the time, or doesn't clean the house and all that. But there are various ways of actually making things work instead of hitting them, instead of being verbally abusive, emotional, financial, stopping them or not giving them money and depriving them or depriving the children of what is rightfully theirs. If you feel, because that's one thing I've noticed about society, as soon as you hit a certain age, oh, so when are you getting married? When are you having children? When are you? So pressure, people are forced into doing certain things like marriage. And I'll be blunt about it. There are majority of our society who are married who really, truly, maybe should I say it wasn't time, or they were not ready. But society makes it that it's time for you to. So what are you waiting for? Well, you have to leave home. And because of that, they go into this institution that is so huge. And some of them just plan towards wedding, especially we women. Let me just say, it's just all my mates are getting married. So they don't think about marriage as it's for life, for better, for worse, and that. They think about it. All that they think about is my wedding day and who is coming, who is attending, and what I'm going to wear, and what people are going to eat or put on social media to show that I'm married now. So they don't think far off. So the first 2 years or so is the honeymoon period. Maybe they rented a place, or they have their own place, or they live at home. Then they realize reality sets in. The monies, the career, the things, the children, all that they wanted to do, or maybe first baby comes when it wasn't planned. And they realize there's more to life than this, or there's more to marriage than this. So the problems start. But it's about having that. I always say that when we are going for the marriage counseling and all of that, it's pre-marriage counseling. We shouldn't just look at it as, oh, okay, I go and see my pastor, we talk 6 sessions or 12 sessions, and that's it. We need to look at every aspect, almost, or should I say almost every aspect of it, in terms of our daily lives, our career, what I like, what you like, sex, everything. So that at least by the time you finish, you won't cover everything, but at least you will feel that I actually know this person more than. I think because of religion, and I'll say that with all due respect, that we cover certain things. So when we go to those religious counseling and that, there are certain things we don't want to disclose because we don't want to be seen as a certain person. But if we can be open and say, this is what it is, this will help us. And also even, I'm not focusing on just the marriage aspect, but if people will be open and then talk to people about situations, that would help.
Interesting.
Communication. Doctor, yes, sorry,
yes.
carry on.
Yes, I really love the point you make on communication. I also wanted to find out from you, what's the role of society in all of this, right? Because in one breath, I get the sense from all that you say that society creates that pressure, right, of undue expectation, especially on men. Now,
Yeah.
what can we do, to support men and also deconstruct some of these, harmful stereotypes?
Good. That's a very good question. We are all responsible for one another. I'm my brother's keeper. You're working with men. You live with a man. You have a brother. You have a friend. And you see them going through stuff, or you pick up certain things that maybe they are not even aware. You need to be able to find a way to talk to them. If you feel that how, the relationship you have with them, it'd be difficult for you to talk to them. Seek somebody that you feel, you know what, this person will be very comfortable talking to that person. So let me talk to that person to find a nice way to highlight it, or to tell them, you know what, I've noticed that you don't look happy, or you come to work very angry. Or my husband, it looks as if these days you get angry compared to before. Look for their soft spot. I'm not going to say their weakness, their soft spot. There's people, they wake up in the morning, they are very happy. Some are moody. Some you catch them in the afternoon, some you catch them in the evening, where they are in a good mood and said, you know what, I really want to have a conversation with you. I've noticed these things. And, with all due respect, it'd be good if we can talk to somebody, or you can talk. You don't have to talk to me if you're not comfortable with that. But I think that it's important that at least we have somebody to talk to, or you speak, just talk to someone, even if it's a friend or whatever, because maybe I can't help you, because society has a part to play. And when I use society, I use it loosely. Because I know that in Ghana, most of the time when something happens, the first person we hate is our president. They've done this and
Yeah.
they've done, even the local gutter is dirty. It's like, why is, excuse me to say, President Mahama not doing anything? But my point is that society means all of us. It could be just your neighbor, the stranger living next door or across the road. It could be your mother or your father. As parents, are we doing our work right? So we all have the responsibility to actually talk. And also, let's say if you're a doctor and then a man is confident, let me say, or bold enough to come and say, I've got a headache. If you've picked a pattern that they present, why are they always coming in with a headache? Why are they always talking about they've got this or they've got that? Maybe there's more to it. There are mental health issues. Refer them on. Give them advice. So if they're accessing your any service or anything they're doing, this is where it starts. If you're a teacher, you're picking up that a boy who used to do so well, suddenly their grades have gone down, or they are not socializing like they used to. Talk to them, be that parent at that moment, and then talk to them nicely. And this is how we move the conversation. And just
Interesting.
like this morning, Jude, we use our platform, media platforms as well.
Yeah, I love the sound of that. There are also concerns that historically, the more vulnerable group have been women and children. So you even see it in how it plays out at the national level. So you are
Yeah.
creating a ministry. It is in the past, as we called it, women and children affairs. Then women, social protection and children. It is
Exactly.
very recently that it became gender to, in a way, incorporate concerns men face. But even with the name change to gender, you get a sense that it is still very women and children, focused, right?
Yeah.
So
You're very right.
will you
Yeah.
say that there should be a relook at the approach in terms of issues around some of these stereotypes and issues that affect men directly? Should it be a national level, conversation and approach at the policy level? Why are your thoughts around that?
Yeah, I mean, you can put 1,000 policies. I believe in policies, but you can put thousands of policies in place. But it's about the implementation that, for me, is important.
That's
How
true.
many services do we have out there? So let's say, for instance, we've just reported somebody's abused someone. Some women will come, a man has abused a wife or the child or whatever, and then a woman will come out and say, actually, you know what, he's my husband. I don't want to take it further. I don't want to. That person should still be persecuted. And then part of the punishment or whatever you give them is rehabilitation. And when I talk about rehabilitation, I'm not talking about prison. It's about, is there a service where they can attend anger management? They can attend, how to deal with issues at home, how to be a better spouse, how to be like parenting skills. So we need to put more services for men, just like it's like most NGOs are around women empowerment, women this, women, like you rightly said. I mean, I'm not going to go into the fact that, the ministry's name should change. You can change it to even men affairs and put a minister there. But the thing is, at the implementation level, what is actually going on? In our institutions, do we have groups for boys where they can go and say how they feel? Or, they're changing all the time. Their body is changing, their hormones are changing. Is there a place where they can talk freely without feeling that they are being stigmatized or they are being looked at as you're too weak? Even our jobs, I remember once upon a when I was growing up, how dare you say you're going to study nursing when you're a boy? There were jobs that were for like it wasn't specifically for, but society believed that women become teachers more. I'm talking about Ghana. Then men cannot do nursing, women cannot go into engineering, and we're still battling and struggling with some of these things that certain jobs are for certain people. So it's about society saying that actually anyone can do anything, unless, of course, for whatever reason, biological reason or medical reasons or whatever. But we need to implement services, more services, open space for men, places, hubs where boys can also go and learn. Men can learn that actually being a boy doesn't mean that you can't cry because you've lost your mom or you've lost your grandma or something bad, you've lost your job. It's okay to feel vulnerable. And it's okay to say, I love you without somebody seeing you as you are weak. Because these are some of the things.
Dr. Annie, what will be your parting words for us, right? What would you want to leave with us men, especially with regards to the help or seeking help, that we need when issues like this come up before you take leave of us?
Yeah. What I'll say is men should look after themselves. Men, look after yourselves. If you need help, if you need support, if you need advice, we are in 2025. Just like women can wear trousers, once upon a time we were not allowed to, just like we feel free. And if you have a husband, son, any male, whatever, as a woman or as whoever you are, a mother or whatever, please let them, support them to seek the help that they need, whether it's mental health or physical health, whatever medical, whatever they need, let them seek help. And if you have because I know lots of old school students or friendships and that, and it's a male group, I keep empowering my old school. Whenever you have any event, if I invite somebody to come and speak, to do a talk, then I come and I'll talk about some of these things. I talk to everybody in general, but I also create a space where people can come and talk. So whenever you have your big, beautiful events and barbecues and stuff like that, get a specialist once a while, every quarter, or how many times you meet a year, and get somebody to come and talk and also provide the space, collect information, create a desk and put it there, that these are services that men can also access for support. So in your conversations, please bring that in your football times, bring that in, that people actually, that's why we have high suicide rate now for men, because they are not opening up. But if we can do that, we can win. So we are all in it together.
Interesting. If we can do that, we can win, and we are all in it together. Very, very powerful parting words by Dr. Annie Gaisie, who is a hypnotherapist and an addictive behavior specialist. We are always so grateful for your time and your insights, and thank you for helping us have these hard conversations. We are so grateful. You heard the Dr. Annie Gaisie helping us through a conversation on harmful masculine stereotypes and what you can do. A very important message she sends: seek help, reach out. Sometimes you can't carry the burden alone, right? So please, let's all take note of these.